Now, despite the ongoing strike in Tshwane, the city is embarking on a catch-up cleanup campaign to get services back on track. The strike has lasted for weeks now. In fact, more than 100 workers affiliated with the South African Municipal Workers Union have been fired for protesting over the city's refusal to implement a 5.4% salary increase. For more on this, we're joined by the city's spokesperson, Selby Bokaba. A very good morning, Selby. Thanks for making time for us on this Sunday. Let's talk about the 100 workers that have been fired. Do we know if they'll be reinstated? If yes, when?
Good morning, and to the viewers. Well, the employees that have been dismissed will not be reinstated. They have a recourse. I know that somewhere has already declared a dispute at the bargaining council. We have not received a date yet of when the matter will be heard, but our position is clear and we are firm and resolute on our position that those that were fired are people that elected not to work. And so we merely formalized this arrangement. They were no longer working, so they were no longer interested in working for the city because they were not executing their duties. So what we merely did was simply to finalize this divorce.
Who has joined the city on this cleanup campaign? We know that there are several organizations that have come to the aid of the city because obviously they're seeing the surroundings, they're seeing the garbage that's not being picked up, the service that is not being delivered. Who has come to your aid?
We are impressed with the number of volunteers that have come forward to assist. They are not formalized structures. You find community members that volunteer to assist with the cleanup campaign, and we really appreciate the gesture that has been displayed.
Talk to me about what's going to happen next as the city. What sort of measures are you taking, Selby?
Well, we are continuing with with rendering services. We have collected waste in most of the regions, but there are a few areas where we have not collected waste. Most of the areas in Region 6, the eastern part of the city, where we have not collected. So we have not been following the normal weekly schedule for collection due to the strike. But with the catch-up plan that we have implemented, we are gradually reducing the backlog. This week, starting from tomorrow, we will be able to collect in those few areas where we have not collected waste. In respect of provision of services such as electricity and water and sanitation, we've been making use of contracted services, but some of the workers gradually are returning to work, and we hope that the picture will change from tomorrow going forward.
How severe is the picture on the ground? I mean, for those services, that the areas whose services have been affected greatly, I mean, what sort of picture can you paint for us this morning?
Well, in the main, it's waste collection. Restoration of electricity in the event of power outages, we have managed. Fixing water leaks and burst pipes, we've also relatively managed under the circumstances. Waste was the area where we have experienced major problems because when these guys go out to collect, the service providers, they have to be escorted by metropolis or private security companies. And we also need to express our appreciation and gratitude to the private security companies that have lent a hand, and they're doing this for free, by the way. So that's the challenge that we have. Teams, when they go out, they have to be escorted by police due to the threats that they're receiving.
And before I let you go, Selby, what is the reaction or feedback from residents as they're seeing the efforts that you are trying?
Naturally, residents are frustrated, but they understand. They understand that the city has to function, and the city is functioning. We are rendering services under very difficult circumstances, and residents have come on board to assist. The example that I mentioned about waste collection, cleaning up the streets, dump sites, helping the city to clean up. So they appreciate. Our call is for those that the few that are still on strike, that go back to work. Court has declared the strike unlawful and unprotected. Already more than 122 employees have been fired, and there are those whose salaries have been docked, and there are quite a number whose salaries are still going to be docked at the end of September. It is not worth it for people to continue being on strike because they will be dismissed.
Selby, thank you so much for your time this morning and bringing us up to speed with the latest in the Tshwane strike. That was City of Tshwane spokesperson Selby Bokaba chatting to us on the Sunday edition of the South African Morning.